boy with a lot of talent, and he certainly showed that here.
Through school, that's all I wanted to do was play rugby. I needed to make a decision.
Every time a sport changes, we need a new flag bearer. And our flag bearer for the next level would appear to be Gerwyn 𝘿𝙚𝙨.
Gerwyn 𝘿𝙚𝙨 is the champion of the world!
Our heroes determine our way forward, and Gerwyn 𝘿𝙚𝙨 is going to be one of those heroes.
Being back here at Cross Keys, it was one of the first clubs I came to when I started playing semi-pro. But yeah, I started off my career in Markham, playing the mini rugbies there, and right up through to the youth. I can remember Cross Keys wanted me to come down here and play in the youth rugby, but I wanted to finish that off in Markham. And then once my youth career was over, I come to here to 𝘿𝙨𝙨 Park, which is a nice ground now, but trust me, in the winter is terrible. The first year I was here for a short spell when I was 19, then went to Neath, had some good times in Neath. But when I did come back, and Mark Ring and Wesley was the team manager, Mark Ring was the backs coach, Greg Woods was the forwards coach, and we had a fantastic year. We had a brilliant team.
I watched the video of Gerwyn when he was playing for Neath, and I couldn't quite believe it. I know he's a local lad, but just from Markham, just up the road. But I was quite happily surprised that he decided to join Cross Keys and have a season with us, because he's just a boy with a lot of talent, and he certainly showed that here.
We got to the 𝘿𝙭Cup final, which we won. We beat 𝘿𝙭𝙨 then, which I managed to get a good try in as well. And we got the British and Irish Cup final. We had a fantastic semi-final year against the Cornish Pirates, which were big favourites against us. They were a fantastic team, but we managed to hold them out. Not many teams like to come and play here, but that was a good game. And then we had to go out to Munster, which was tough.
That was a fantastic journey in itself, and you'd be surprised if that was ever done again by a Welsh club. I don't think there are clubs that even enter the competition anymore. But to pick ourselves up again, to be at the stadium, the Welsh stadium, in the Welsh Cup final the following week was hard. It was mentally tough on the lads, and that's why you need people like Gerwyn to come through, and come through he did, with one of his most unbelievable long distance tries, which basically won us the game.
And we beat 𝘿𝙭𝙨, so that year was probably one of the best years, not just at Cross Keys, but in my whole career. Yeah, I lived in the roughest part of Markham, but it's not so bad now. But yeah, it was a good upbringing. Bethan, obviously my wife now, she supported me right through the rugby. I can remember when I first started coming here, I was 19. Me and Bethan had only been together maybe a year and a half, 2 years. And I'd train for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and she'd be sat in the car, reading a magazine and looking back. How crazy was she? Passion for rugby came from obviously my dad playing, and he played Welsh districts, played for 𝘿𝙭𝙭𝙁 and a couple of good clubs during his career. But yeah, since mini rugbies, a friend of mine, John Mullins, and a couple of others set up a mini rugby through the Markham system, and yeah, I think I was 2 years too young to start off with, and my brother, obviously, who was a couple of years older than me, I was always playing with them and couldn't wait to be old enough to play. And yeah, I always wanted to play rugby, tried a bit of football, but yeah, I was rugby through and through.
How did you end up in Glasgow then? Was that a loan deal, was it?
Well, I was playing for Cross Keys, and when I was in Neath, Gavin, he's with Gregor Townsend now, with his brother. He's the analysis. I forget his second name, but he was the analysis in Neath, and he rang me up and said, "Do you fancy coming up here? We short of hookers." I had to put a DVD together, which I did, and went up there for 6-7 weeks. But I didn't really get much game time up there either. I think I played the first game I started against Zebra. I didn't play much after that, and then I came on against the Dragons. We tuned those by 70 points, which was good, coming back. But yeah, I never had much time to play, but frustrated in the end. But,
So part of that frustration then led you into the darts game?
Yeah, I was obviously still classing myself as a rugby player, and darts was just an hobby and a bit of fun for me. And if I picked up a couple of quid along the way, then I was happy.
We knew in a sense that he was very good. We knew that you had he was consistently averaging sort of over 80, if you like, in the local leagues. You know, we knew there was rumours of one of the lads, I can't remember his name now, but I think he was a professional, and I think he was one of his training. They used to you know, pair up together and practice together. And I think the lad in question, he was trying to encourage 𝘿𝙚𝙨 to go for it.
Well, to be fair, we used to go to local tournaments together, and he used to go and he'd win them. He was very good, and as a person, I got on great with him. You know, to be fair, and at the end of the day, he was like, well, he was turning up these tournaments, no one knew him, and like at the time, I was playing well, and he was just winning them so easy.
But I sort of knew then that I needed to make a decision: is either darts or stick with the rugby. And you know, I was earning a lot more money in the darts then than I was in the rugby, and I wasn't getting any younger. I knew rugby was coming to an end pretty soon.
And he was going, oh, I don't know, because he plays high level at rugby, he was at that time. But I just said, you know, at the end of the day, you're good enough.
So I just, give the rugby up and give 100% in darts. Having been so young and chasing a dream since forever, that's all I could remember. And to have to give something up and change careers, it was going into the unknown really. And the missus said, oh, no, you should still play rugby. But I think I made the right decision in the end.
To become the first Welsh winner of a PDC major in one of the most contentious and controversial finals you could ever wish to see. There it is, he wins the title. And for the second straight year, the price is right in 𝘿𝙚𝙨 again. Price for the match and a brilliant win.
Gerwyn Price closes out in style.
The price is right for the world #1. Gerwyn Price is the champion of the world!
The first year, 2014, I didn't have too high expectations of myself, just wanted to turn up and enjoy myself, which I did. And then as time went on in that year, I was winning a couple of games, but losing against the bigger players, the players in the top 16, top 8, 𝘿𝙚𝙨, 𝙤𝙨, all those sort of players. They were the games that I tend to lose. But yeah, the first year was all right for me, but I think that the second year was a little bit better.
I thought he'd done really well to get where he was, coming from a background of rugby-based background. But clearly, the competitor inside him decided other. There was another way forward. And when he did make that leap, he made a quantum leap, and it looks as if he's established a new ground. Darts and all sports is about almost a form of snakes and ladders. You go up ladders and you try and avoid the snakes. It's a tiptoe through a minefield, really. But if you have the character and the self-belief, you can make it. And Gerwyn Price is a great example of how you can make it.
Yeah, I think it was 2015 when I got into the match play and into the Worlds that year as well. Obviously beating Michael Smith, I think it was 5-0 up in that game, and then going on beating Adrian Lewis in the, I think last 16 or quarterfinals, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was a stepping stone. I knew that if I gave 100%, that I could make it and hopefully fight to get into the top 32, top 16. But yeah, managed to go a little bit further than that.
I think he had a sort of fairly self-centered career, if you like. He believed in himself and he didn't really give too much notice of anyone else. And that probably came across a little bit arrogant in the early days, and something that perhaps he's worked on and become a little more of a warmer personality.
That sort of game was in me from day one. The moment I was in Europeans, from the very first one, and when I played 𝘿𝙚𝙨, I think in the early days in the match play, it was always there. But I think that controversial final, sort of people realised more that I was doing it and was more emphasis on it. But it was all over social media, and that's where I was inexperienced, and I learned from things like that, and I had to learn. I was dragged into that situation, whereas now I don't think I would take any notice. I've grown as a player and as an individual over the years, and you learn to play certain players. But yeah, I think now it would be a different story, and I'm more experienced to not get myself into those situations. The backlash sort of dampened everything, and just was like, I sort of felt like I wish I didn't win in a way, but You know, when I went and backed it up the year after, it felt a lot better. You know, people said I wouldn't have won if I hadn't played the way I did. But then to go the following year and just to play my normal game again and to win it again, yeah, sort of shut those critics up. You know, I'm sure that did kickstart me into my career because, you know, for 2 years or even longer after that, I had to concentrate 100% because, you know, I didn't only have to play the best players in the world. I had to deal with the crowd as well, who was, you know, they were bad, real bad. And you know, a couple of times I felt like giving up, but I never did. But there we go. It's just, yeah, they've moulded me into a world champion. I think I'm a world champion before my time, but you know, thanks to those people, it made me concentrate and probably brought my career forward.
The traditional darts fans are quite loyal. You know, when they have a fan, they stick with them. When they have a hero. And I think there was a couple of matches, in particular World Match Play against Adrian Lewis, where the crowd certainly were turned against him and let him know in no uncertain manner, to the point of view where it would have affected most people. It didn't seem to have that much effect, visually anyway, on Gerwyn Price. I think he's quite a strong character. But of course everybody loves to be loved, don't they? And over a period of time, he's managed to turn that crowd round where they become Gerwyn Price fans now.
In a way, I think it spurred me on because you know, a couple of times, especially the last match play against Dimitri, when the crowd was with me, which I didn't expect, and yeah, when they're against you, you seem to concentrate a lot more, and I think that brought me forward in a lot of games. Yeah, I just like to prove people wrong, and yeah, I don't know, I like that controversy now and again.
Some players, Peter Manley, would encourage the crowd to boo and get involved because it was an atmosphere he enjoyed playing in. I think Gerwyn Price, like everything, he's different. You know, Gerwyn is resilient. I think he has a good concentration level and an amazing amount of self-belief where it doesn't get to him. I don't think I'm sure he would prefer if they didn't, and I think he's enjoyed the fact that he's won them over a period of time. And he'll continue to do that if he keeps winning. But the pressure's always going to be on Gerwyn Price's shoulders, but they are big shoulders.
Every time I was playing, I believed that I could win no matter who I played, but you know, once I'd actually got a monkey off my back and beat Michael for the first time in about 30 games, I think. Yeah, and soon as you start beating players like that and beating Peter on a regular basis and the likes of Gary, then yeah, you know you're a force to be reckoned with them. At the beginning of my career, I would fear those sort of players, but now the only person I fear really is myself. I'm not sure which one is going to turn up. No, I play Gary like I play any other player and just concentrate on my own game really. To become a world champ and a world number one, that's quite difficult. I think it's harder to become a world number one than a world champ, but to have both of them off the back of the same tournament and that 1 year, yeah. If I'm honest with you, I didn't even think that was going to be possible for another couple of years. You know, the dominant force that Michael was, and obviously the way Peter was playing. Hopefully I can back it up this year and win it with the crowd, and then yeah, I can live as a world champion, do the things as a world champion does, which is, you know, get the trophy, go to your locals, take it to places where, you know, where you used to start playing darts, to your old school. I don't think Peter had any of that, what he could do, and I certainly haven't, but hopefully I can back it up this year and get some of that as a world champ as well. Yeah, obviously fantastic moment at the time to win. You know, as you've seen, I was a struggle to get that final double in. I think I walked a mile and back and, you know, concentrated and finally got that winning double. But afterwards, being on lockdown, it wasn't very good. I couldn't, like I said, couldn't show the trophy off, couldn't take it to places I wanted to take it. The first couple of tournaments after I'd won were no crowds, so it was like, it doesn't feel all that. But then that one tournament in the match play when he did announce me as a world champ with a crowd, then yeah, they were special moments. Hopefully now towards the back end of this year, I can get that trophy back and show it off before I have to hand it back. But hopefully they'll be giving it me straight back in December or January.
You need more than just ability, you need persona. You need that extra special personality that puts you aside from the norm. And of course, Gerwyn Price doesn't, if you excuse the phrase, he doesn't look like a darts player, does he? You know, he looks like a rugby player playing darts, just that he has a lot of ability when he picks up those 3 darts. So what we're going to see going forward now is the establishment probably of a new type of dart play, you know, someone who hasn't come out of just a pub background, historically where a lot of dart players have come, and a lot of the young talent today is more likely to fall in the footsteps of Gerwyn than one of the old school players. The sport is changing. Every time a sport changes, we need a new flag bearer to take us to the next level. And our flag bearer for the next level would appear to be Gerwyn.
I'd like to be a multiple world champ. I'd like to win at least one of every big major. So yeah, I just target tournaments now that I haven't won. I want to win the Premier League. I want to win the match play. I want to win the Players' Championship finals and the UK Open. So there's a few that I haven't won. So over the next couple of years, hopefully I can bag all those and yeah, just become a multiple world champ as well. The World Cup coming up now with defending champs. Hopefully we can go on and defend that tournament. One of my biggest and most proudest moments. There's a lot more pressure, I think, in playing in that tournament because it's everything's not just you know. Even though when I'm playing other than the World Cup, obviously it's for the family, for friends, for fans and for people in Wales, but to be playing for Wales as part of a team, yeah, there's a lot more pressure and yeah, it's a lot more emotional as well, especially when you're winning. Johnny, fair play to him, he's playing fantastic, and like I said, I put a post out, if I couldn't be in the Premier League, I'd just have to send my little Welsh friend to pick it up, but fair play to him, he's playing brilliant. Yeah, I've set off a beast now and he's flying, but yeah, he's just got to back it up now and keep going, which I hope he does.
Do you have a time limit on your career? Do you see a point where you're going to say, enough's enough?
Yeah, well, it's a race really. I'm either getting to 50 houses or 50 years of age, so if I get to 50 houses, I'll be gone sooner rather than later, I think. Darts came along pretty quick, and I'm sure it can go away just as quick as it came along, so I don't take anything for granted really. I try and invest and put my money in the right place. If, you know, like I say, you never know what's around the corner or anything could happen, and darts could be finished as quick as it started, so yeah, just try and buy as many properties. Hopefully by the time I finish, I'll own all of Markham, and yeah, I'll be able to sit back, you know, kick my feet up and just relax.
Gerwyn has the potential to be an amazing ambassador for this new world of darts. Time will tell. We'll see what happens. It'll all be answered on the hockey over the next few years.